Welcome back for our final session. Every month you hear me talk about that and how I really hate to go into the last session because all the information you're getting is so important and we want you to make sure that you get that. So be sure to write it down. Be sure to give Laura a call if you have any questions about anything. Now we're going to be talking about some training programs that she's got that's going to be coming up later on. And so tell us about those programs.
Well, Tom, these are actually community education programs.
Okay.
And so these, you don't have to sign up for Social Work 101 and pay college tuition to take a class from me. And
Okay.
I have offered these up on the Elko campus for the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
And so I decided I need to bring this to the Pahrump area. I love teaching about these different topics.
Okay.
And the first one is understanding autism.
Okay.
That is one of my faves. And I've actually given presentations all over the country about autism. And I'm actually going to Budapest in February at the end of the month after I give this presentation
Okay.
to talk at the European Autism Conference over there. And so I'm really excited about that. Autism is a way of being. It makes the world a better place that there are people on the spectrum who have autism disorder. They are the creative people. They are the Bill Gates, the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Jane Austens of the world.
Right.
And so I would love to have anybody who's interested in this class to come and have a listen. And it turns into a discussion often because I often get parents of children on the spectrum. But it's not just for parents. It's also for educators and any professionals that are working with people who have autistic attributes.
Okay, now we talked about autism, but on that slide, it also has a different phone number that they can call.
Absolutely, yeah. To sign up for this class, you need to call the Community Education Department at Great Basin College, and that's 753-2202.
Okay, at a 775 area code.
It is a 775 area code, yes.
Okay, because now, since a lot of people in Las Vegas are listening to this as
Oh,
well.
okay, yeah.
So
775-753-2202 to sign up for that class.
okay, and that'll take care of understanding autism. And is there anything else about autism that you'd like to say before we go to the next program?
It's a huge topic. I could spend 3, 4, 5 more hours talking about it.
Okay.
But it's definitely a fascinating topic to discuss. My son, who's on the spectrum, has used music, and that has been the strength that we have found in him is his ability to play and perform music. And he's an incredible musician,
Okay.
and partly because people who are autists, that's what we call them, they often have a special interest.
Right.
Something that doesn't have to do with people that they can focus on because they don't understand social cues the way you and I do.
Right.
And so whether it's computers or music or reading or writing or art, and so this class that I teach, we'll talk a lot about that. I actually take my son's name and turn it into an acronym for all the 7 attributes of autism that start with SPENCER.
Ah, okay.
It's really fun, too. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. So that's understanding autism, and they can definitely call if they're interested in that class.
Absolutely.
How long are these classes?
They're just a one-night class,
Oh.
except for the couple communication one. That is a 2-night class.
Okay.
And so it's just basically kind of a workshop that you can come. And so no pressure, no stress. Come hang out, wear your
Wow.
jammies.
This is fantastic. Okay, what about the next one?
The next one is positive parenting. And this is a class where I like to talk about, well, what we were talking about earlier about catching kids being good, right?
Ah,
and
okay.
so positive parenting, it's based on several different books that I've kind of absorbed over the years being a mom. And basically the idea that children, we should never give kids the remote control to our emotions, right?
Absolutely.
Have you heard the term push your buttons?
Yes,
He can
yes.
push my, well, don't let him. You be the parent. You
That's
be
right.
in control. And so, don't react to children when they're trying to get that reaction out of you. Be the calm presence in their life and be the safe place. I often tell my students when we talk about parenting and talk about teaching clients about parenting that the main thing for me, both as a parent and as a professional, is that you want to be your child's life coach, not his prison guard.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what positive parenting is all about. And again, it's
Okay.
just a one-night class. I think it's $25 to come for one night. And yeah, good times.
Positive parenting? Yes.
And it works on husbands too. Definitely. I catch my husband being good all the time and let him know. Good job, sweetie.
I think everybody likes a pat on the back every now and then.
Absolutely.
So
Don't we? And you know what? We all know our negative attributes.
Yes.
We all know the bad stuff. We know it better than anybody.
So nobody needs to tell us that all the time.
No, we don't need that. We just need the good stuff.
Okay. So those are two classes that we've talked about already, understanding autism and positive parenting. And we have another. What
We
is it?
have communication for couples. I named it couple communication, but I guess the continuing education department changed it, but that's okay.
Okay.
And basically, this is based on the idea that it's not what we communicate, it's how we communicate. It's
Okay.
not what we say to each other, it's how we say it.
Yes.
So making sure that we're not being critical, letting go of criticism, letting go of contempt, all of that negativity that happens. And you know what? It doesn't matter how well matched you are with your significant other. You're going to clash at some point. And guess what? That's okay. I worry more about the couples that don't clash. Seriously. Because if they're not clashing, somebody's being a doormat. Because we're individuals,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And so, if someone is always giving in, then they're not being true to themselves. And so this is a great class. This is a 2-night class, and it's a lot more involved. I really like when couples come together, bring their significant other, and then we do some activities that help them better learn communication skills.
And the dates on these. Let's go back because we talked about understanding autism. When is that?
That one is on February 4th. The positive parenting is February 5th.
Okay.
The couple communication class, it begins on February 11th. And I believe that it also goes the next night.
Okay. Now, when you mentioned the things on communication for couples, I kept thinking, and my wife is going to be watching this show, but it's something I think that she and I could probably use.
I think every couple can use it.
And I say that because when we talk about couples fighting, and my wife and I every now and then said, we've been married now for over 20 years, and we haven't had a fight yet.
What?
We've had disagreements.
Wow, that's beautiful.
But we haven't had a fight.
Oh, okay,
Really,
okay, so disagreement. Yeah.
We've had some disagreements where, and I hate to say this, sweetheart, but there are times when she just stops talking.
She sounds like my kind of lady. I like it. She's figured it out.
2 or 3 days of no conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
okay.
then when she gets over it, then she talks like nothing happened.
Okay. Well, you and I are talkers, and she would. My husband is a lot like that too. He'll just go quiet for a while.
So I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a great class.
I'm going to go ahead and sign up
Good,
for this and see
Love
what
to
we
have
can
you
do.
there. I've been married to Doug for 35 years.
Ah,
We just celebrated our 35th anniversary. Maybe I'll drag him along to that night. But yeah, very, very mellow guy unless you push too many buttons. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
Yeah. So, but the last class is Good Grief class. And
Good Grief, okay.
That one is on February. Is that
19th.
February 19th? Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So Good Grief is basically about dealing with grief. Dealing
Okay.
with sorrow. Everybody deals with some kind of loss in their life, and my own brother took his own life about 10 years ago, And that's what this presentation stems from. It's about, it's not just my professional journey in helping others, it's about my personal journey. And that can be, you know, for people who are suicide survivors, they've lost a loved one to suicide. This would be a very good class for them. Anybody who's experiencing loss, you know, Tom, we experience loss when we move to a new community.
Yes.
When we go through a divorce or just a change of jobs. You know, loss is something that's part of our lives. And so that's what this class is about, dealing with that, learning some strategies and techniques to better deal with the loss and the grief that all of us experience at some point.
Now here in Pahrump, we also have Grief Share. That's another program through a church here. In fact, I've had him on this show a couple times and probably plan on having him back. I'll have to get in touch with him and remind him. But Grief Share is something so important, and the fact that you have it here entitled Good Grief.
Yeah.
There's some good in knowing how to handle grief.
It's not easy.
Oh,
it's not easy. And for those of us, again, for those of us who choose to be social workers and have gone through that rigorous training, we get to use our own personal experiences to come from a place of empathy to better understand the people that we work with who are dealing with their challenging experiences.
Well, everything you've given me today, Laura, has been just fantastic. And I really want to thank you for being here and covering the full hour. We wouldn't have gotten to all of this if Chief Lewis hadn't had that emergency meeting.
Chief Lewis, I hope you're okay. He's on the front lines, you know.
Yes,
that's and that social workers tend to be on the front lines as well. Yeah. That's what we do. It's not easy. We put out different fires. Know what I mean?
Well, the Chief is always welcome on my show, and he knows that. But I have thoroughly enjoyed everything that you've given me and everything you've given us.
Thank you for having me. And I would just like to let people in the community know I would love to come give presentations. Part of my job as a professor is to get out and do service within the community. So on any of these topics or any other mental health topics, I'm happy to come out and talk to your group and share my professional experiences.
So if you have anything for your church or your group or anybody else, go ahead and give her a call and say, look, Laura, I'd like you to come out and talk to us about any of these items, especially those people that might want to become social workers.
Absolutely.
I think it is so important.
Yeah,
and Great
this
Basin
is the
College
mothership.
Yeah, Great Basin College is here. And don't forget to come back and join us next month. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Tom.